Where you at?
We are
Oh.
live, so wherever she at, we can't see her.
I'm
Um,
I'm here. I'm just over here on the side.
you all good? We
Happy Sunday.
waiting on a couple more people.
Well, happy Sunday. How everybody doing today?
I'm good. I'm good. What about you?
I'm good. Busy day, but good.
Yeah,
I'm here. I am here.
That's all you can ask for, right?
pretty much.
Yep.
There you go. Got confirmation. Facebook is live. We good on there. So yeah, we just hanging out.
Because that's what we do. Yeah, I mean,
Hmm
Is
Keep
that what
hmm
we do? Are y'all excited that
keeping.
we're doing something different for this project?
Mm.
are we
Are
what?
y'all excited that we're doing something different?
Oh,
Are you excited that we're doing something different? We're trying something different.
Thought that was
Well,
that
I mean,
game where every time you say it, I'm supposed to take a shot.
Oh. Oh, that's how you feeling?
hey, it should be interesting. I'll say that.
No, it's
Mm.
gonna be all.
Well,
It's
y'all
gonna be
know usually
interesting
I
all the
don't
way
listen
around.
to this kind of music.
Say that again. Usually what?
I don't listen to that kind of music like that. So this was different for me.
Okay. Different is good sometimes. Sometimes you got to switch it up.
You're
Yeah, man.
right. You're right. You're right.
How much time should we give them before we go ahead and start?
I say about 3 more minutes, 8:05. Five
Okay.
minute grace period.
Yeah, we should start our shows at 8:05.
Well, we can start now. Hey, go ahead and put the intro. Let's get it. And they
Oh no,
jump in and give their.
I was being serious. I think we should push all of them to 8:05 or 8:10 as the official start time and just get on early.
Oh, let me post this thing on here. Here is the link. I'm gonna put
Trying
the
to see
link in
what's
the
behind.
thing.
What'd you say?
Think she posting the link.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but we could get started and do the intros. And they jump in.
You waiting on me?
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and officially get this thing started, man. I'm about to there you go. Everybody just kind of mind your mute. If you're not speaking, it's always a good idea to keep it on mute. Um, but yeah, you got the links in there. All right. What up? What up? What up? Ed, what up, man? It is 8 o'clock. It is Sunday night. As we do every Sunday, man, we come to you from the Roundtable Music Facebook group, and we bring to you the Roundtable Music Live panel, where we put a live panel together to actually sit down and discuss an artist's works. You guys, if any of you guys rock with us on YouTube through our Model Booth Games or Where It Begins magazine, if you listen to the podcast, the recast through Spotify or Anchor, then every Sunday we bring to you guys a different artist to actually sit down and talk about. And we usually have the artist to come and rock with us. This time we're doing something a little different, something a little special, man. We are doing this on Kendrick Lamar. So this is a little bit different, man. This is a person that we don't exactly have in a Rolodex to touch, and he wasn't exactly returning our phone calls. No shade, but the homie is big and doing a lot of big things. So this time we're just gonna sit down and talk about it. So if you familiar with it, then we're here every Sunday. Definitely give us a follow through if you're on Facebook through the Roundtable Music Facebook group. Also, give us a follow on YouTube again through our Model Booth Games and through Where It Begins magazine. And you can definitely catch all the dope stuff that we're putting out, man. 3 times a week we got different shows going on, man. So we're always bringing you some different flavor. But as always, man, we like to start out. We like to go around the horn and introduce, our panel. Let them introduce themselves to you or reintroduce themselves to you in a lot of cases and give you a word. So we're gonna start it out as always and let CC drop a little knowledge on you guys. CC, what you got? You on mute, CC.
I thought I unmuted. I'm sorry. Hey, everybody, it's your girl CC Where It Begins, and I'm happy to be here today. Had a rough day, a long day, let me say it like that. But this is something different and some new music to me, so I can't wait to discuss. Back to you, Theo.
Short and sweet. Short and sweet. I love it. I love it. Mac, appreciate you for being back in the house one more time, brother. Go ahead and talk to the people real quick.
Yeah, man. You already know, man. Your boy MAC, Brainstorm Productions, DUG Entertainment. And I kind of feel like I had a missed call from Kendrick. I wasn't returning his call, so that's probably why he ain't hit y'all back. Let's get it.
There it is, man. Listen, you got to pick up when the homie called, man, because we always talking dollars over here. So make it make sense next time. But Notorious Jewel, talk to the people.
What's going on, everybody? Glad to be here. This is my first time on the round table panel, but I have a feeling this is going to be an interesting discussion because I had a chance to actually take a look at the artist, really take a look at the artist's work today, and I got some notes. You can always catch me on IG MZ_Jewel526. And I'm out here in these tax return streets and also on the podcast, 1/3 of my Notorious podcast. And I'm looking forward to us jumping back in and doing more topics to edutain the masses.
It is. She's trying to educate and entertain at the same time and speak some Ebonics to y'all. Y'all gonna learn something today. But listen, man, this whole situation was different for us, right? We get to chop it up with the artist, bounce it off the artist, see what the artist talk about, see what they actually put when they was in the kitchen, all the different ingredients. But we don't have Mr. Lamar here to defend himself. So I'm kind of interested to see what kind of reactions that you guys had from it. First of all, let me say this, man. I think this was one of the most anticipated albums in a long time by a major artist. He had a 5-year layoff since the last official works came out. And I think he did some digging in this thing, man. He did some soul searching. It's very critically acclaimed for the message that came behind it. But before we get into that, I'm interested to know what you guys thought about the message. But first, let's take care of a little business, man. If you're rocking with us again on the recast or live on YouTube or on Facebook, go to StreamYard.com/Facebook and put your credentials in. So if you make a comment, we can pull you up and see your avatar or whatnot. So let's go through a couple comments real quick. Nika Mack is rocking with us today. Hey, Nika. She said, hey, everyone. So what up? What up to you, Nika? Appreciate you for rocking with us. Also, let's see. Looks like a house post right here. If anyone would like to join and discuss Kendrick Lamar projects, here's the link. So CC, I think, might actually put the link out for that. And also later at some point, either live or during the recast, we're going to actually put a link to the StreamYard, not StreamYard, but Spotify. So if you guys want to actually dig in and take a listen to what we're talking about, then you can, join the conversation either now live or later, because we're always checking the comments and reacting to those sort of things. But first of all, let's get into the message, man. We're going to do this one a little different today. What did you guys think about the message, the messages, plural? Because there were a lot of different themes that Kendrick seemed to attack on this one, right? A lot of blackness was involved with it, but a lot of let me say the mental side of the game, right? A lot of traumas or just experiences from growing up. He spoke heavily on. So, how did you guys kind of receive those messages when you were digging through the project? Go ahead, Jewel.
Okay. First of all, no there's no precedence that has not already been set for artists who have a lot going on in their past lives, current lives, or have seen a lot in their community to voice that in their music. It's no precedence that has not already been set where someone who has a lot of stress and pressure on their own lives and in their own career, they put it out in the music. And this is reminiscent for me of that. At the end of the day, it wasn't that a lot of these topics were taboo and that he should not have brought them to the forefront in the music, but it was a little bit of shock value. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I feel like the level of creativity and how he presents these observations and these family stories and these conflicts and this family dynamic, personal dynamic, you know, only Kendrick can pull it off the way he pulls it off. But again, you're not really expecting him to talk about how my auntie is my uncle now. My auntie is a
Mm-hmm.
man now. Like you wasn't ready for that. But how
Mm-hmm.
many people out here have family members who have gone transgender or who go in drag or who, live alternative lifestyles and they may or may not be comfortable with talking about that. So you have now a platform not only to see somebody that's looks like you, maybe sounds like you, maybe came from the same place that you came from. They're speaking on some things that have also maybe taken place in my personal family. You know what I'm saying? You never know what kind of people are relating to that. So I feel like it's a double-edged sword. It's a shock value for one, but then it's
Mm-hmm.
relatable two, but it's sitting on a bed of creativity and uniqueness. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
Sitting on a bed of uniqueness and creativity.
Full of plush pillows. I get it. I get it.
Yay!
Uh, Mac, how did you receive the messages on this? How did it touch you? Because he went deep, right? He went deep in a lot of this.
He did. He definitely did. So the vibe I get is definitely it's kind of that militant vibe I got from him. Uh, it was definitely a lot of lessons that was taught on this project, and you can hear that he definitely learned a lot of lessons from his past, and he incorporated all that into this project, man. He sounds
Okay.
like a dude on a mission, man. He has no problem bringing those topics to the table, and basically, man, it's a dude that refuses to be oppressed, and I'm gonna show you I'm gonna press through it and keep thriving.
I feel it. I feel it. Real quick before we get your take on it, CC, we got two people that just popped up in the back. Let's get them up in this game, man. We got DJ Soul and Cook. What's going on, brothers?
Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? How we living?
Hey man, we good over here. We just chopping up this
What's
Kendrick
happening?
Lamar. Y'all missed us on the intro part, man, but we still want to give you guys a quick second. What we do is big screen everybody on here and just let them introduce themselves. Tell the people where to follow you or find you, or whatever you got going on, whatever message you want to put out. So, Soul, I'm gonna put you up on the screen first for it.
What's up, everybody? My name is DJ Vala Soul, man. You can find me everywhere on at DJ Vala Soul, man. DJ VALASOUL. I'm a DJ, producer, engineer, videographer, and I do it all. Yeah.
There it is. There it is. That man got many hats. Cook, what's going on with you, Cook? Give a message to the people. Tell them a little something about Cook.
Man, I'm good. I'm proud to be on here, man. I'm not a DJ or nothing, but I'm the they call me the counselor. So I'm in the school system. I work with kids. I actually just became a school counselor, finishing up my master's degree. You can find me on all the social media networks, but I'm big on music. I love rap. I love R&B. I just love music, period. So I'm always welcome to join in this group just to see what y'all talking about and just get it started. I'm just always big when it comes to music, though.
It is, man. You're around like-minded people right now. So good stuff, man. And welcome, man, to you, brothers. And congrats, Cook, man. That's dope, man. Definitely, we always want to encourage our people to, keep moving up, man. Keep progressing, keep leveling up. That's what life is about. But with that being said, CC, let me get your before we get these two gentlemen in there. Let me get your reaction, man. What did you think about the messages, the messages that you got out of this work?
It was deep. It seemed like he was grieving some blacks. It was just deep to me. Like he was speaking the truth on some stuff. He talked about dads. He talked about himself. He talked about a lot of stuff. So y'all know, this was just like a deep project to me. Some stuff I was like, okay, I like it. Some stuff I was like, okay, that's just too much for me.
The
It's like he's
messages
telling a
resonate.
story.
Okay, the messages resonated with you though.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Vala, so what did you think about the messages? Because we were just saying before you guys got on here that it was a lot of deep verbal imagery put in by Kendrick Lamar on this piece. That's the reason why a lot of people respect the works, and some of the a good part of reason why a lot of it is critically acclaimed. But how did the messages touch you personally?
I felt like he was very creative in how he put everything together. The messages was definitely deep. And it's one of those type of projects where you're gonna have to listen to like a couple times to kind of actually get the full picture and what he was trying to, lay out. And the album was definitely different than a lot of the other albums that's coming out right now. You see what I'm saying? He definitely took a different approach, and I respect that and I love that.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a different angle. Jewel was saying right before you guys
Got
got on
you.
there, some of the things that he touched, she wasn't expecting, or we weren't expecting, because we're not used to hearing that. So
Yeah.
definitely, the brother went on a creative path. But what about you, Cook? What did you think, man? What kind of messages did you receive out of this project?
For me, I just feel like he just took it to another level.
Okay.
His music is always touching, but I think he really touched on a lot of things that a lot of us don't touch on. Like we had this talk yesterday with my cousin house about different rappers, different how they music touched certain people, how we went back to Tupac and Biggie, Jay-Z, Scarface. Me being from DC, Scarface always represented DC. He comes
Mhm.
here a lot. So I'm actually gonna see him on Wednesday because it's his final tour. But he took it to another level that we didn't think he was gonna take it to. So he touched on a lot of things we didn't think he was gonna touch on. So his album's dope.
Yeah, no, he definitely he definitely took it to a lot of things we weren't expected. Let me do a quick little screen share here.
Yeah, he ain't had no
Uh,
elevator music.
nah, he definitely did not.
They ain't do the
Uh,
Drake joint.
all right, so let's take a look at this, man. So
You said it
19
right, man.
tracks, 19 tracks Kendrick fed to us this time. Starting out with United Grief and ending with oh, this is a whole different lineup than I've been viewing it. I think the Heartbeat Part Five, excuse me, the Heart Part Five, with the playlist that I was listening to was the last one. But this
Yeah.
actually officially breaks it down into this one, this two, as it was intended to go out. So let me ask you guys. Obviously, we had a little bit of a layoff in between getting some brand new Kendrick music, right? So the brother decided to come back and basically give us two projects together with this. So it's Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. And I think the name identifies each particular piece of the works. What did you guys think about the quantity of it? Right, we're not used to an artist giving us an official EP with this type of volume on it recently. I think he kind of went back to some old school there. At first, when I glanced at it, I thought it was a mixtape. It was so many different tracks on it. But what did you guys think about just the amount of volume that he put on this thing?
I think that he realized it's been a while, and I think that he wanted this. I think during like the pandemic, it was so much stuff going on through the pandemic that he wanted to like kind of just stay out of the way of all of that stuff. You see what I'm saying? I think he wanted to. He said it in a couple songs. He said in one song where he was like kind of like social distancing from all the pop-up activists and all that type of stuff. You see what I'm saying? Because it's like a lot of people, they talk the talk, but then, you know what I mean, when it's really time to walk, they ain't there. So they just doing it because it was a fashion, and he didn't want to get mixed in with all that. So I feel like he knew it was a while since he gave us some music. So he wanted to give us 2 discs so we can be good until he come out with the next one.
Okay. Hopefully it don't take him another 5 years, but yeah, I get where you're going with that. What about the rest of you guys? What did you think about the volume of the work?
It's still not uncommon. It's not uncommon to see
Okay.
that some artists will come out with a double EP, or they'll come up with a 2 disc, situation, or whatever the case may be. The good part about it is, because of the timing when he had his last project, and let's just think about it. His last maybe two or three out of the last albums that he put out had songs that carried over time.
Mm-hmm.
So did he really need to be on some every 2 years putting out an album type stuff? Not
Yeah.
really. You know what I mean? He had enough content, he had enough momentum, he had enough relevance to have songs and pieces of his projects carry over. And then not even just to think about the things that he did when he was collaborating with other artists, or maybe he did other projects movie wise, or maybe he just did tours. He didn't have to come out with another album, not necessarily, but to fulfill his obligation. Possibly he needed to put out another album, maybe because of the fact that the fans know what it is. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna want some new music, period. He probably already has stuff bubbling, and you can already tell that he has stuff bubbling because of the fact that the content and what he put on the album was so poignant. It
Okay.
was very poignant. There was no way around you having a fight with your baby mama on an album. And it was like you literally sitting there watching a TV show on HBO, because they get the cuss on HBO. Like that, I would have never thought somebody would create a song that sounds conversational, but it's like a spoken word piece to music. Like I can imagine 2 people on a stage in like Apache Cafe, because we live in Atlanta out here. In Apache Cafe, they standing on 2 sides of the stage, and they delivering their lines one after one after one after one. And then you got the band playing the doom 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 doom, the bass dude in the back with the little drummer dude on the side. Like I could just envision the entire situation. Or that could be my whole ass neighbor just sitting over here having a whole argument with they old lady. Who does that?
Yeah, no, I'm glad you brought up spoken word, right? He did that a couple different times on this, and I'm curious to see how the general public receives it. But then there's so much volume, I wonder if it gets lost some. So that was just my thought on the spoken word part of it.
No, I don't think it's gonna get
It
lost.
ain't gonna get lost.
No, I don't think it's gonna get lost, because this is like an album that it's like fine wine. Like you just sit down and you experience it. You see what I'm saying? We ain't talking about like a trap artist or a drill artist where you just listening to the singles and then I'm not listening to the rest of this album. You see what I'm saying? Like every time I listen to this album, I'm just gonna push play. You feel me?
Okay.
It's
Okay.
reflective. It's reflective. It was abstract. It was diverse in the delivery, and of course, like I said, the topics and the content. And I feel like the energies were in different places depending on what the specific song was at the time. So I think he gave off what people probably would have expected from a guy like him, and maybe he kicked it up a level. I'm kind of mad at myself, like I'm hanging myself right now. Here we go. I'm mad at myself for not knowing what his other albums have on it,
Mm.
so that I know how to compare and contrast whether he leveled up or whether he gave exactly what he was supposed to give, because this is what you expect from an artist like Kendrick Lamar. Now, even the
Mhm.
singles that are out in rotation still give you something different than the norm. It still give you not the trap shit. It still give you, a certain type of energy, some different um vibes, different content, different approach. Like he still gives that, but to what degree do the B-side songs that's not on rotation on the radio, what kind of vibes does that bring? And for
Mhm.
me not to fully know what those other things are, so I know, oh yeah, this was classic Kendrick. Yeah, he kicked it up a notch, but yeah, I was expecting him to give us that heat. Like I can't even say that, but still, even listening to it, I can only imagine what kind of stuff he came out with when he first, had his first few albums.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Maybe my favorite missing in action DJ Vala Soul could tell me what oh, missing in action face.
Don't be coming on here with your personal agendas, Jewel.
I'm just saying.
All right, let's get some more people in there. What's the reaction to the volume, Mac? What you think about it? 19 tracks, how they hit you?
So I'm gonna say this right here, right? So Jewel is wondering what his other tracks and albums sounded like. So his hottest album, highest selling album, was his last one called Damn, right? That was
Mhm.
5 years ago. And he already had that political feel to him back then, 5 years ago.
I
And
believe
then
that.
just think about everything that done happened 5 years ago up to this point.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's escalating and escalating for him. So now he's got a whole lot of material to talk about, and he ain't scared to hold his tongue, man. He gonna give it to you. So that volume is classic Kendrick Lamar.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
I
So
can
you
dig it.
feeling 19, too much, too little? What you thinking, CC? Just right?
See,
What he
see?
what he put in the porridge?
It was a lot of songs. It was a lot of songs, but I think it was worth it. I
Okay.
definitely think it was worth it. But it was a lot of songs. I was like, geez. But when I listen to it, it goes into another song and another song that's kind of deep to make you want to listen to it again. Because you're gonna have to listen to it a couple of times to see what he's saying. So I think it was long, but I think it was worth it, especially by him gone for a minute.
You're right.
He
Okay.
needed to
You're
get
right.
that out and get it out.
Okay. So it
Yeah.
You're right.
sounds like y'all was feeling the 19 songs. Let me give you my perspective on it real quick.
Mhm.
I think it was a good album if he would have made one album. I didn't get to put it in and ride for the rest of my life type of vibe that you guys got off of it. I definitely think it was some good cuts in there. I found myself probably vibing with the songs more from the second disc than I
Mhm.
did from the first, because the beats was just, I'm gonna tell you what the first disc reminded me of, right? AT Aliens, but they tried to put it on the West Coast and the sauce didn't come up quite right for me. It tasted all right, but it
Yeah.
wasn't something I wanted to go back to and eat. And I guess maybe I'm thinking from a soul food perspective. The
Interesting.
lyrics, I'm not gonna question Kendrick on the lyrics, right? Kendrick is one of the best lyricists that we have out right now that's in the market and that's actually allowed to be a lyricist, because that's another big part of the game too. We
Say
have
that.
artists that can spit, but because of their contracts, because of their label, because of the politics behind it, they don't get a chance to spit that. So I think the lyrics maybe snapped a little bit harder on the first album, but if you're gonna ask me what songs do I actually want to hear? A lot of that was on the second one for me. So again, I think it could have been a great album. I'm not sure why he put so much volume to it. I'm not mad at any artist that wants to give you more, but if I have to rate it as a totality, probably out of those 19 songs, you know what I mean, a good 9 of them could have went away and I wouldn't have been mad at it. So I'll put it like that. But again, I give a brother credit for stepping out there and want to get everything off his chest, right? Like that's really what I felt like. At the end of the day, it was probably so much of a volume because of some of the things you guys said, right? It has been so long, so many different things have transpired in those past 5 years. But for me, he probably could have slimmed that thing down. But that also tells me this: Kendrick Lamar is in a right space right now as far as where a lot of artists wants to be, because that's not anything the label ever tells you. The label don't tell you to put out 20 cuts. You know what I mean? That's something has to be driven by him and wanting to provide that amount of music and not settling as an artist for different things that he wanted to make sure came across on this release. So I respect them for the volume, but just for me, there's a skip factor definitely involved with it.
And also, one thing you also got to pay attention to is the build up, because I felt like this was more like a movie versus like an album in a
Okay.
sense. So if you listen to it, because when I first started listening to it, like the first track kind of threw me off. I was like, yo, what is going on here? So
Where
I'm
am
like,
I?
yo, like where's his mind at right now? You feel me?
Right.
But once I got to the third track and the fourth track, I didn't skip the second. I'm just saying the build up. Yeah, I mean, once I was starting to listen to, I mean, each of these tracks, I'm listening to the build and I'm listening to the storytelling. And I feel
Okay.
like that's what the first half was about. And then the second half was like the release, like the party, like the not necessarily the party, because he didn't have really a lot of club tracks up here,
Yeah.
but he did have a lot of upbeat tracks, some tracks to make you feel good. You see what I'm saying? He started real low and then he built it up. So when you listen to it like that, then you kind of get his vision for what he was trying to do for this album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we get into the official categories, let me just add one more piece. He switched the beat up a whole lot.
I
What did
Yeah.
noticed that
and
too.
and for me, sometimes that loses me, right? If you do it effectively, then I'm all in. But that's probably one of the reasons why I'm also saying you probably could have scaled back some of those tracks for me, because sometimes it almost seemed unnecessary or off-putting because I was actually jamming to the first beat and then the second beat came on and then I wasn't feeling it and the third beat got worse. Or I didn't like the first beat, and then the second beat came on, and I was feeling it, and then the third beat, I wasn't. You know what I mean? So it was like you kind of have to be careful. But again, respect to the homie. He seems like he did exactly what he wanted to do, and I'm always trying to encourage artists to own their own craft, own the business side of it, so you can get to the point where when you want to put something out, people like Theo from My Model Booth Games can't say nothing to you. So at the end of the day, he did him. But yes, I don't know how many beat makers he paid, but his budget had to be blown for this thing.
I
What did you
also,
guys What did you guys think about that?
I
There's so
also
many
think
beat changes.
I,
Go ahead, Cook.
I feel you with the beat changes. It does throw you off a little bit, but I think he was trying to take us on a journey a little bit. He
Mm-hmm.
was trying to get that. You right. His budget probably was crazy, unless he created his own beats or something. But his budget probably was crazy. But I feel like he was trying to take us somewhere that we never been before.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like one of them Kanye West type things when they're trying
Mm-hmm.
to take you to a level that you never thought you can go to.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not a producer or anything, but me loving music. And when you listen to certain artists, especially the new artists nowadays, some of them sound a lot of their beats sound the same. Like when you listen to Migos or you listen to some of them other ones. But now I think he just was trying to take us somewhere that like DJ, like he said, it's gonna take some time for it to grow on a lot of people.
Yeah.
For them really to understand the concept of where he's going, where his music was trying to take us. Like I've listened to his album twice, and it's still, it's gonna be a third or fourth, fifth time for me to really understand where he was
Yep.
trying to take us to not just lyrically wise, but beat wise. Like,
Hmm.
where are you trying to take us? Are you trying to take us back to Africa? Are you trying to take us
Oh, he was taking us to Africa.
right? So it's kind of like where are your beats coming from? Because
Mm.
that wasn't no drum machine beat. That wasn't no beat off
Hmm.
the keyboard. That was some beats back home that he probably visited Africa for the last 2, 3 years and just heard something that clicked in his mind. Said, "Let me throw this on the album."
Yeah, no, I definitely, when I was listening to it, trying to figure out, was he trying to give us that cultural experience? And by cultural, I don't just mean our culture in the hood from that part of California where he resides and grew up in, and all this storytelling predominantly was based from. But you could tell the brother was definitely trying to take us to different cultures and different experiences. So, like I said, I did appreciate it. I appreciated the creativity a lot in this, but at times, I just felt like maybe he gave me personally a little bit too much.
Okay, I gotta interject this one observation
Go ahead.
because you just made me think about something real iconic to our history,
Hmm.
which is a Bill Cosby moment.
Okay.
I want you guys to think back to how influential Bill Cosby was to us in the 80s and 90s.
Hmm.
He introduced, forget about all of the little, controversy stuff he's had going on for the past 5 or so years, right? Forget all
Hmm.
that.
Hmm.
Let's keep it all the way funky, okay? Bill Cosby was that dude for
Yep.
us as kids and in the family, viewpoint, point of view. He introduced us to manners, decorum, culture, jazz music, reading,
Hmm.
and how to be a family, being inclusive, being successful, being athletic, and showing love for kids, like your family, your kids, your wife, your neighbors,
Hmm.
the people that you take care of. He showed us that. But the thing that stuck out to me about Bill Cosby's show is that he introduced us to jazz.
Mm.
And he introduced us to culture. He had Africans on, he had
Yep.
Hispanics on. He always had some sort of jazz playing. He always had some sort of performance going on with the kids, incorporate the whole family unit. And so when I listened to at least 3 or 4 tracks, I can't remember how many, but it's at least 4 different tracks where you could tell that the producers was on some great instrumental, not like a sample that you grabbed from somewhere, but like a real pianist that was there, or a real bass or cellist or a violinist or some other instrument player was in
Hmm.
the studio giving us the instrumentals. That's what I feel like. It don't feel like it was something that was sampled from elsewhere.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
that
No.
originality was really helpful to expose people who might not be ready to hear piano or jazz or some other abstract type of instrumentation. They might not be used to that. So now you have an opportunity to be exposed to that.
I would be again curious to know the budget figures behind that portion as well, because you're right, there was some well, sounds like, right, you never know, but it does sound like some live musical instrumentation went into that. And usually, at that point, you're not picking somebody up off the corner, you're picking up some of the biggest and best in the industry to
Yep.
represent in those situations. So I'm not trying to watch the brothers' pockets, but I definitely saw a lot of dollar signs listening to this whole production, because that's what it was. It was a production.
Right. I mean, truth be told, he probably got people in his back pocket. You know what I'm saying? And on top of that, I peeped some of the credits on the songs that were up there,
Hmm.
and a lot of them were he had kind of like the same group of producers.
Hmm.
So I didn't notice the platform that I was looking at. I didn't notice that they shouted out specific instrumentalists. Like I didn't peep that, but I can try to look it up again. But I'm assuming that they either had talent in their own camp from the producer teams that he worked with. So you got to think about Pharrell he did a couple of songs on there as production. And then he also had Soundwave, who's a new really dope production person, and Beach. Music or Beach Club or something like it's like Beach Somebody is another production team that he had working on a lot of them songs. So I wouldn't be surprised if they have instrumentalists in their camp. Let's think about how we
Hmm.
could compare his energy to the same energy as Terrace Martin. I don't know if you guys know who
Okay.
Terrace Martin is, but he's a very talented jazz musician that does soul and R&B music. And he's like in the same vein as Robert Glasper, who is an actual jazz pianist and has his own band, and he does fusion music with soul and R&B and a few rap artists. So if you guys have never heard of Robert Glasper, look him up. If you've never heard of Terrace Martin, look him up. Those are really dope artists, and Terrace Martin's from California too, so I feel like that was like a, probably an influence.
Connection.
Yeah, Robert Glasper's from Texas, I want to say. And they're just really dope in regards to being an instrumentalist. So I feel like that's an exposure to jazz that we haven't seen after A Tribe Called Quest.
Okay. Okay, deep. That's deep. But yeah, no, definitely. Like I said, if I had to guess, definitely he did dig in and get with some of those people who were in that area. You know what I mean? As opposed to pulling a sample and it being unknown. And also I think the producers did a great job on this. Like I said, some of the things went in a direction that maybe don't resonate so much with my ears, but when I listen to the production value behind it, you can't question a lot of what went on with it. So with that being said, man, let's take it into the official format, how we usually get down, where we go through our best song, worst song, and so on and so forth. But I want to take those kind of out of order right now. So something that I think Jewel touched on was the features, right? Let's talk about the features on this. Let's take a look at how many. Let's take a look at the features that he had. So he has Die Hard had a feature, of course. Father Time with Sampha was a feature. We Cry Together, I think, is one of the most well received songs off of the project. That was a feature. Purple Hearts, of course, Ghostface got on that. Silent Hill with Kodak Black. That was probably for me. And full disclosure, I'm not the biggest Kodak Black fan for a myriad of reasons, but that was one of my favorite features actually on the project. Um, let's see, we got Savior. Yeah, Savior definitely had features on it. Mr. Morelle features, and then Mother I Sober had features. What did you guys think about the features? That's a good amount of features on there. I do question, not question in a bad way, but I do question if the content built up like it did to get to 19 tracks, because he wanted to make sure he included some of those features, and then he wanted to make sure, he got off the personal stuff that resonated with him as well. But what did you guys think about the use of the features on this?
I think that like you said, that Kodak Black one was like, I'm not even a fan of that dude, but that joint was hitting.
You a
Like,
little bit of a fan now, though, right?
yeah, that was something on another level. I'm
Yeah,
sitting there like, that's Kodak Black. Like, hold up, who wrote that?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you hear some of his stuff, and I'm like, hold up, something ain't. That, he did his thing.
yeah. No, he showed up and represented. What about the rest of you guys? Well, how were the features? Too many features? Too little features? Somebody you would have rather hear as a feature on it? What was the thoughts?
I was digging the features. I don't know who the girl was when they was talking back and forth with the whole argument, but that was like my favorite one out of all of them. So
What
I
that's
track?
like
feel
my
What
like
favorite.
track was that?
that was called matter of fact, I'm about to tell
We
you right
cry
now.
together.
We
Yeah, we
cry
We
cried
cry
together.
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 Yeah,
Taylor Page.
that
Taylor
Number eight.
Page.
Taylor
Yeah,
Page.
number eight. We cry.
That that is my favorite song on the whole album. To be honest
Hmm.
with you, real talk.
Okay. We gonna
That
get the
was a
best
little
song in a
jarring
second.
for me.
What's
Yeah.
that one?
It was very jarring for me. Like all of the F bombs were.
Mm.
Oh, y'all wasn't on when I made my comment about that particular song.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it was really poignant, was what I was saying,
Mm-hmm.
and it made me feel like I was seeing neighbors have a whole argument across the street.
Yeah.
Like this was a real movie scene. It was a real life exchange between baby moms and they baby dad, or two husband and, you know what I'm saying, husband and wife or whatever. Like
Mm-hmm.
it was shocking to see, and very creative to see him come up with the concept to present that song that way conversationally, but it also looked like something that you would find on a spoken word stage. It
Yeah.
looked like something that you could be sitting at Apache Cafe, and you got a guy and a girl on opposite ends of the stage, and they delivering their lines, and it's really a conversation, but it's prose. It's
Mhm.
still, you know what I'm saying? It's still has rhyme scheme to it. It still has a
Let me
cadence
let
to
me
it.
reel you back in for a second, Jewel. What'd you think about the features overall while you digging off into
I'm
that one
sorry.
song that you
You're
got
right.
on repeat on your playlist?
My yeah. I actually enjoyed Summer Walker and Ghostface on that. No, I
Okay.
was not expecting him and Kodak to collaborate on a song. It
Neither
sounds like
was
it
I.
might have been on two songs or something like that.
He's
But
an
yeah,
interlude. He's on an interlude.
yeah, he's on an interlude. Kodak was never my favorite. Like, I don't even know why my sons listen to Kodak Black. He's so weird to me. But for this particular song, I thought it was pretty cool. Like, I wasn't mad at it at all. Some of the other folks, especially the guy and the girl, yeah, they did that, and her energy brought out the type of vibe that I guess he was trying to shoot for. So he did a good job with what he presented.
Let me throw a different question to you, CC. What was the best song in your opinion on the project? What's on repeat in
Uh,
your playlist?
Hold on, I think two of them. Wait
Got a
a minute,
list.
maybe two. No, I write them down, but
Why you
I
getting to
like
that?
Spirit.
Okay,
Rich Spirit was my favorite.
say that again. You broke up a little bit. Spirit and what?
Rich Spirit, number
Okay,
7. I don't know.
okay.
That was one of
Rich
my
Spirit.
favorites.
Okay.
That one.
You got a second one, or just going with Rich Spirit?
Oh, you want me to say another?
No, no. You said you had two. I
The
was
other one was Purple Hearts with Summer.
okay.
Yeah, Purple Hearts with Summer. That was my
Okay.
second one I got.
What about you, Mac? What was the best song on there, or best songs?
What about
Because
Uh, so we still talking about that the collab with Kodak Black, which is just to go back, just to backpedal for a minute. It's probably one of the best verses I ever heard Kodak say,
yeah.
because I'm not a big Kodak Black fan either.
Hmm.
And then I definitely love that Cry Together, because when you got back and forth tracks, man, you can, and you make that energy fill the room. I could feel that in that track. You know what I'm saying? But far as when we get down to the nitty gritty, man, I go with the N95,
Okay.
just because that was a real track, man. Like, this dude is robbing the world. Like,
Yeah.
and it takes me back to them 50 Cent days that put him on, man.
Yeah.
How to rob. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I strip you down of all this, and now what you got? So that was a real track with me, man. Fly ass beat, and the lyrics was on point. So I rock with that.
Yep.
I can feel that. I can feel that. I'm gonna tell you this. He almost lost me on United in Grief. The message behind it, I get it, but just listening to it from a musical standpoint, he almost lost me because it came off, a little off-putting. Like, where Kendrick about to take this, I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna let this stranger in my car. He need to stay on the side of the road. But that N95 did bring me back. So definitely,
In
I'm feeling you.
95.
I'm,
That
I'm
was my
feeling you on
favorite
that.
too. And 95 was my favorite song. And only because, and this was crazy. I was online maybe 3 days ago or so, and I came across a reel. I was probably on Facebook or something. And one of the reels had a clip of him doing, Oh, matter of fact, it was him performing in 95, the beginning part of it, at a fashion show. And I was watching the people marching in their little fashions or whatever, and Kendrick was singing that song. He was doing the lyrics to that song. And I was like, yo, he's snapping on this little cadence, like like whatever that cadence is, drew me in. I didn't even know that's what this song was until I heard the whole thing. I'm like, hey, that was up.
Yeah, I like the N95. What about you, gentlemen? What did you guys think? What's getting recommended for the best song?
Oh, I already said mine.
My bad. Cook, did you get yours in on that? Okay. So let me say this. So I had two. Definitely N95. I liked it. Wasn't at my top list. The Heart Part 5 grows on me, but definitely was not on my list. But I can see why he put that one out there. Just continuing that legacy of the Heart series that he got going. But Silent Hill that we talked about with Kodak Black was probably my favorite. Also, Count Me Out. It was two songs before that. I think that was, it was the first song on disc 2. Count Me Out had a really nice flow and cadence, and the music matched up. Because with me, I think I can pick apart a lot of different parts of this album where I like the lyrics, or I like the message, or I like the beats. But for those two particular songs, I think all three kind of matched up for me on that. So definitely Count Me Out and Silent Hill was at the top of my list. Let's take a quick comment. Looks like we got one in here. Doris Funks on the check-in. She said, "Hey, baby, StreamYard is not my friend tonight." Don't know why, Doris. We actually see your comments. So you made it. You made it. Let's switch gears real quick, man. I'm gonna play a Kendrick Lamar just recently performed at Rolling Loud, and when he got off stage, he actually was caught by a interviewer that wanted to give him some props for some things, and then kind of get his feedback on the actual project. So this is Jazzy World. Very, very bright. Seems like full of energy young lady that does interview at these type of events, and does musical things with it. So definitely we want to wish her well in doing it. So if you guys get a chance to go to YouTube, check out Jazzy's World, and you'll see this interview along with a whole lot more. But let's play this. This is a quick little clip that we want to play where she caught him coming off of the stage.
And I'm here with one of the greatest, Mr. Kendrick Lamar.
Way too crazy, ayy. You do not amaze me, ayy. I blew cool from ACA.
Mr. Lamar, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. Just had a good time Rolling Loud. Yeah, it was turned up.
Definitely. I saw the show too. You did an amazing job.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
So I've seen so many people become very emotional after hearing your music and seeing your performances. So in what ways do you feel you've been able to positively impact people with your music?
Yeah, it's really just about the feeling of it. You know, at the end of the day, past all the politics, past all the numbers, it's what music make you feel, you know, how it make you feel. So to see that, and shout out to him, by the way, because I see him, bro. I was like, man, I wonder what he's going through, you know. But at the end of the day, that's how you want everybody to perceive your music, and, you know, make them feel good, make them feel like a moment they're attached to. They can live forever.
Definitely, and I can definitely see how people are very attached to music and very gravitated and very emotional when they hear your music. I mean, sometimes when I hear your music, I want to cry too, because, you know, because of the message that's inside of your music and stuff, and I'm just like, I really enjoy it.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
No problem. Thank you so much. So you're considered one of the greatest hip-hop artists ever. What is the most important part of your legacy that you want to be remembered?
It's really just the impact to inspire people, you know, and always showing them that the duality of life is not such a bad thing. You know, we go through so many volatile situations where we don't really know how to connect, or, you know, communicate how we feel. So through my music, I want to make sure that's the legacy, showing people how to communicate, and it's okay, if you're not perfect. It's about accepting the beauty of imperfection.
You're definitely right, and I love how wise you are, and as you said, that it's very good to be imperfect, and it's okay.
It's okay.
Because everyone is different in their own ways, and you should just love yourself for who you are.
You're very wise. You inspire me.
Aw, thanks.
Yeah, you inspire me.
Well, can you please share some words of motivation to everyone watching my show?
Everyone watching the show, do you be yourself and make sure that you love being yourself. And it's going to be roadblocks, there's going to be tribulations, but always remember this is a life experience. Accept the experience, appreciate the experience, and learn how to move on from things that don't serve you well, and find your journey, respect your journey, and love it.
You heard it, guys, from the man himself, Mr. Kendrick Lamar. So until next time, jazzing out.
Hey man, she got so much energy. I love it, man. I love it. She's talking about crying, and she smiled bigger than anybody I've ever seen smile before, man. Her energy is on a million. So definitely, man, if you guys get a chance, we're not solicited for this, but we like to show love to people, man. And she seems like a young lady that's definitely on her way in the whole interview entertainment game. So man, go to Jazzy World and support her on YouTube, man. She's definitely dope. I checked out a couple clips, but so what do you guys think about, because we got to address the elephant in the room, right? The Jesus crown. What are we thinking about this? There's a lot of imagery that went into this piece. A lot of the stuff that you see coming out of it when he's performing on stage at Rolling Loud in different places, you see Kendrick rocking the Jesus piece, literally, right? He's rocking the Jesus crown on his head. Obviously, the album had it depicted, more of a kind of a ghetto scene with it, but he still had the crown on. All the different stuff that's being officially put out in relation to it. That's the imagery that they're trying to get to come across. How are you guys receiving that Jesus crown?
The first thing that comes to my mind is heavy is the head that wears the crown.
And that's what he said.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown. There's so many Black men amongst us and just around us that feel like they're always being targeted. They're not heard. No one believes in their magic. No one believes in their strength. They're constantly being either challenged or torn down. They always have to prove themselves. Even when they speak wisdom, it's seen as blasphemous. It's seen as going against the grain. How can you win? How can you push forward? How can you set a legacy for not just yourself, but maybe for your family, for your community, if you're constantly being crucified, quote unquote, by others around you or by the societal systems that are around you? I feel like that might have been the mindset behind that piece of symbolism.
Gotcha. What about the rest of you guys? How you receiving the Jesus crown?
Yeah, man. I think just if we look at the art, if we just take the artwork from the cover of this, right? So you see the thorn crown that he rocking. Kind of give you a little bit of a God Jesus complex look to you. So you might think you're a little bit ahead, but at the same time, you see him holding his kid, and you see his shouty holding another baby. At the same time, got a gun in his waistline. These are just some of the things that go into the everyday life of some of the Black men. So it's a hard balance to it.
Okay. What about the rest of you guys? What how did the imagery reach you?
One, I want Jewel. You right though. He what you said was on point. Because it definitely, as a, I don't want to say just not as a Black man, we do get put down a lot. We do get that short end of the stick where we're not supposed to express our feelings, show our feelings, or anything like that. I think with him, it's just that piece just showing that you can be who you want, regardless of who cares who you are, what you do, what you represent. He's just showing that, man, I'm me. Either you gonna like me for me or you not. It is what it is.
So that's the piece of it goes back to me working in the school system, man. I try to tell the kids, you don't have to be a product of your environment. You know, your environment is just where you live, but you don't have to stay there. And I tell them I grew up in a single parent household. I grew up in the hood, the roughest hood. So I've seen the drugs, I've seen the shootings, I've seen it all, but you don't have to stay there. You can do something else. But
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. So it sounds like you guys are receiving the crown well. It didn't offend you. It wasn't off putting to you. Seems like the message is kind of resonating with you guys.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I
You
did
know,
say it, I did say it seemed like he thinks he's a little bit above people.
Okay.
I
Okay.
don't know because
Put that
I'm kind
down.
of
Put that
torn.
down on my notes.
I'm kind of torn because I'm a PK. So, um, the dad pastor on one shoulder is like, nah, that ain't it. You see what I'm
Hmm.
saying? That's not something you're supposed to be replicating. That's not something you're supposed to be showing off. That was for one person and one person only. You see what I'm saying? But the artist in me, I get it. It's a symbolism. And what Jules said, you know what I mean, and what Cook said it was on point, but I'm torn. You see what I'm saying? Because that's playing with something that I don't feel like should be played with, to be honest with you.
I
All
feel
right,
you.
so let me take it a step further then. How many times have you guys heard of someone saying that individuals have God living within them?
Hmm.
We
Hmm.
all are humans. We all have a spirit. This is just a fleshly body, but we are really spiritual beings, have a human experience. So, in one sense, you can say that because we are spiritual beings, whether we know what level to express that spirituality in the world or not is one thing, but to know that we are God, because what we speak, we create, what we think, we create, what we do with our hands, we create. So we are creators as individuals. So, in a sense, we are God-like because we were made in God's image. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to do diddly squat. We just be here
Right.
droning.
But
On God.
it's only one head that should have that crown on. We are
Yeah,
all kings and queens, so it's a different type of crown you can wear.
okay. I'm
Mm.
thinking about maybe if that was where his thought process was in regards to, taking on the symbolism of we are all individuals who are godlike in our own individuality because we are creators. That could have been a connection between why he thought that would have been a way to express that. Some people have a very separated um distinction between, this is the spirituality, God in Christ is here, and on the other end of it, we're all just underneath that particular umbrella of spirituality. Then you got some people on the flip side of that same coin that still give homage to the fact that there is a higher source, there is a higher spiritual power, there is a creative source that governs this whole entire universe that we live in, but they also understand their connection personally to that God source, to that creative source. He might not be the type of person that fully believes in Jesus. He might not believe that whole story. Who knows? But at the end of the day, we do know that there's varying degrees of how people see themselves as spiritual individuals, and how they express that, comes out the way it comes out, I suppose. I wasn't super offended. I don't feel like it was like blasphemous. I still think it was a level of symbolism to express the fact that there's multiple ways that people can relate to not only the lyrics, the emotion in the lyrics, the project overall, but then him presenting that as his own authentic self as a spiritual being. Maybe that was where he was going with it. I'm just speculating.
Yeah, I
Put
would.
on
I
the
would.
cross.
Yeah, nah, that's going a little too far. So let me give you my take on it real quick. So I'm not mad at it, right? But I'm also not mad because I don't 100% know why he did it. You put the crown on because you're saying like I'm the greatest rapper. That offends me. Okay. because I am a Christian, I am a believer, so that naturally offends me. If he puts it on and then you pair that with the message that he has behind this, I'm not so offended. If you listen to what he said, right, when he was getting off the stage to Jazzy about loving yourself and being your authentic self and being 100% of you in the trials and tribulations and the roller coasters and just riding with it and still loving yourself and being true to who you are, those sound very much like the teachings of Jesus. So I'm not mad at it. Imagery wise, I'm also not mad at it, because if you're going to be mad at this man who wants to represent, and again, I'm assuming because I don't know the words of him and I haven't seen any interviews of why he put it out this way. But if you can't get mad at a black man representing himself in the kinness of Jesus, right? Not being Jesus, but being akin to Jesus, I'm not mad, because we look at the white Jesus every day, and we all know full well that that's not how a man with a hair of wool would have actually looked at that time in that region. So we have been whitewashed. No, I'm saying, let me finish up. So we've been whitewashed to see the other one so much that I can imagine that this does offend people just off of the aesthetics without trying to, dig into what the actual reason is. But I'm not offended by it because of the messaging that he's coming with. But go ahead, Valaso. What would you about to
No,
jump
I
in
was
with?
just saying that anytime, there's nobody with wool hair that's gonna look like the white Jesus. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I don't care what time frame. I don't care what century. I don't care where you at.
Yeah. But yeah, just I have this conversation with people from time to time, and you got to take you got to take the marketing out of it, right? You got to and I don't want to get too deep off of it. This is a conversation for the Roundtable Talk podcast, Thursdays 8 p.m. Once again, live on Facebook, live on YouTube, and maybe we'll bring it up next week. So tune in and find out. But I don't want to go too deep into it because that gets more into that area. But just again, from the imagery that goes behind the artwork behind it, I felt the artistry that goes in with it, and the fact that he's carrying this out to the stage and he's pairing this with these positive messages that he's directly aiming at the communities, not just our community, and I'm saying communities plural. Then I'm all right with it, and that's just my 2 cents. What about you, CC? Get in on this thing real quick.
I don't know. I mean, I don't have a listening to your perspective and listening to them. I didn't really have a perspective of actually going that deep. And like I said, I don't usually listen to this kind of music. So this is my first time kind of getting really into his music besides what they play on the radio. So I didn't even go as far as looking at it in different ways about it. So I really don't have a point of view on that part.
Okay. Um, Real quick, we're gonna get one more category, and then we're gonna get into our rating. Album comparisons. I kind of gave one of my comparisons earlier, but I'm curious to know, to you guys, is there an album or a style or an essence that you would compare this to when you're actually digging in and listen to it? Is it something totally separate, or is this related to something else earwise to you guys?
Album comparisons.
Go ahead, Mac. You came off mute.
Well, I mean, I don't have an album comparison, but when we talking about socially conscious issues and speaking freely on them, I love the way J. Cole comes about it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? With that smooth demeanor. That, you know what I'm saying? If you take it back further, Common talks about a lot of the same issues.
Okay.
So those are the type of artists that I would compare them to. Album wise, I don't have one for you though.
Yeah.
Okay. I could get the J. Cole and the Common comparisons. If you go back further than that, I think you find more politically charged messengers like the KRS One, Public Enemy.
Yeah.
Some of the neo soul era that came out. But as far as like lyrically and containing all of that, I think it's a different level with Kendrick. It's a little bit of a different level.
Yeah.
What about you guys, Soul, CC? You got any comparisons that you would
Um,
make off of this, or it's freestanding?
it's free. I feel like what Kendrick is doing is what all artists should be doing. Experimenting, trying out different sounds, trying out different feels, vibes. That's why his albums, like, they all sound differently from the last album and anybody else around them.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
you can't compare. You're not supposed to be able to compare somebody else's art to somebody else's art. You feel me? It's supposed to be different, but we're not living in that type of time. And there's a lot of albums out there that sound, similar, but I can't compare this to any album I've ever heard before.
Gotcha. Hold on, we got somebody popped up.
Hey,
Bezo, what's going on, brother?
so man, how you doing?
Hey, we good, man. We chopping it up. We're bringing it to an end, but we definitely thank you for taking time to drop in with us for a quick second, man. Did you got a chance to dive into the Kendrick Lamar, actually absorb it into your soul? That seems to be what's going on with this project.
I did.
So I just wanted to know what we were just talking about album comparisons or the lack thereof, being able to compare it to other works. Like when you were listening to this, are there any comparisons, either message wise, style wise, how it hit you, anything that you kind of compared it to in your mind?
If I could compare it, it'd probably be Jay-Z's 444 album.
Okay.
I've noticed, like, with artists like Jay-Z, Nas, and like Kendrick Lamar, they start off with a certain angle with an album, and then by the third or fourth album, you see growth. Jay-Z can't talk about Reasonable Doubt anymore. He has kids now. He has a wife. You know what I mean? So same thing with Kendrick Lamar. You could just tell good kid, Mad City, all the way up to now. It's just different perspectives, different beliefs that he have. And, there's a couple songs that I was like, whoa, okay. That was pretty dope. But just like with DJ The Loud Soul, if I pronounce that right, if I did, my fault.
It's okay. So
definitely I haven't heard an album like that. I haven't. But if there was a comparison, it'd be the 444 album. I just think there was a lot of growth between 2015 Kendrick Lamar all the way up to 2022 Kendrick Lamar. A lot of growth.
Gotcha. I can say I wouldn't make the comparison from a style or listening standpoint, but from a growth standpoint, I can see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I can definitely see that. All right, man, we're gonna close it out before we get, you guys' final word, final opinion, whatever final message that you guys want to put out to the viewers and to the listeners. I want to go into the rating, man. If you had to rate this thing 1 through 10, right? Standard issue rating. What are you giving it? Because my feelings, I'm gonna go ahead and be transparent, man. My feelings was all over the place. I think each time I listened to it, my rating changed, and that was both up and down. So I'm gonna go last, but somebody jump in there. Give me a number on the rating. I got the gun to your head. You got to put a number on the table. What we doing?
I'm going with 7.
You going with 7?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we got a 7. Go ahead, Mac.
Yeah, I'm going with a 6, man. If it was less content and you can shave some of that skin off of that turkey, it might be tender.
All right. That's a cold turkey rocking the 6. What about you, Jewel? What you got?
I was kind of treading around 8. Thinking about an 8. I mean, I don't think that there was any bad content, but the shock value and the weirdness of the instrumentation that we talked about earlier, that kind of took the points down. But I like his innovation and I like his level of transparency. But the delivery on some of them songs was a little sketchy, so that's what took the points for me.
Gotcha. Okay. So Jewel gave him an 8. We got 6, 7, 8. We about to make a phone number out of this thing. What you got, CC? What you putting on this, CC?
I got a 7. I got 7. I'm gonna go with 7 because I got a whole bunch of okays on my paper. Just okay. say on these songs. I didn't have too many that I could just say was dope to me. I had to listen to it and listen to it again, like wow, woo. And I don't know. I'm just gonna go with a 7. I'm gonna go
I
with
feel
7
like if
because
I
he told
listen
the
to
story,
it
he
again,
got
it
it
would
out,
change
and he got the
minds.
best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree. Jewel, if you guys didn't hear it, just said that she felt like if she listened to it again, she might change hers. And I feel like that as well. Bezo, what you got? What number you gonna put to it, brother?
I can say a 7 or 8. Like I said, a couple songs there. Uh, I was like, whoa. The song "We Cry Together" with what's her name? Her name was like Taylor
Hey.
Sage. I
Mm-hmm.
was like, oh wow. And it kind of just reminds me because I used to work in the social
Everybody
atmosphere. I
talking.
used to be a social worker, and I used to hear that all the time between men and women, the argument.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
then after the argument, then it's all good. So it's just
They
certain
about to do the booty.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Pretty much that's a wrap. That's a
Yeah,
wrap for the
yeah.
evening for them. I'm gonna be honest before I get my ranking. Let me talk about that since you just brought up the We Cry Together. Uh, I don't like that song.
Why is that?
Um, and I don't like it because I feel like it's
Me,
arguing, and I don't
me too.
like hearing arguing.
I get it.
It had the spoken word vibe that is a little off-putting to me as well. I understand the placement of it. It was a conversation, but I think it was that spoken word style, and we brought that up a little earlier in the conversation. That spoken word style wasn't the best place to me. I think he did it about 3 different times in different verses, or in different songs in different verses
Mhm.
throughout the project from my count. And then I kind of lost count. So not necessarily my flavor for it. So let me go give me my ranking. My ranking is a 6.5. Because like a lot of you guys said, it was okay. But here's what I will say: if you guys are familiar with those DJs that take it and they remix it and they put it to, a different beat, right? And they make it and turn it into a different project. Shout out to Danger Mouse, man. Danger Mouse was one of the first ones to really make that to the forefront when he was doing Jay-Z and the Beatles type of situation, right? I would love to hear somebody like a Danger Mouse or one of these more contemporary DJs to get in there and mix this with some other artists, not saying more traditional beats, but more solid beats. And I'm not saying solid like I'm taking away from the gravity of these, but maybe steady is a better word, instead of switching the beat on me 3, 4, 5, 11 times during a song, to get more of just a continuous flow. I would love to hear that. But honestly, I would like him to keep or just maybe steady out some of these beats, right? Don't flip it up. Keep that dope beat that was in there and rock it up and maybe just mix it a little bit with somebody else. And I think honestly, if I heard one of those type of things, I might end up being one of the biggest Kendrick Lamar fans on this planet, man, because it could solidly go to a 10 if you just mixed up a couple perspectives on it. Again, as I've said the whole time, I respect the artist for being able to do what he wanted to do, because that was clear from the first second that I pressed play on Spotify. This man got off his chest what he wanted to get off. He delivered his project in a way that he wanted to deliver it. And there's not too many people who can call their shots like that in the industry. So respect the Kendrick Lamar. But because of that, he probably reached more people overall because he touched all of us in a different way, and he can touch more people in doing it that way. But for me personally, and the way my ears are trained to hear it, just a little more steadiness, I'm going to use as the word, probably made, I would have digested it a little bit different. But again, I go with what Jules said, man. I could probably listen to it again, and if I'm in a different vibe later tonight, I might bump that thing up to an 8 from a 6.5. You know what I mean? So no shots fired at him. All respect, all love. I definitely love the project in its totality. But for me personally, I'm not putting 19 tracks on my playlist. I would have got a good 7 or 8 that I can solidly rock without of him. And that's a lot, comparing anybody's project. So again, mad love, mad respect to Kendrick Lamar. 9:19, man. We're over budget on the time. So what we're gonna do now is just go around the horn real quick, man. Give the people your final message, your final thoughts on the project. Shout your social media out one more time so that people can follow you. CC, I'm gonna catch you last on this one. So we're gonna start off with Mac. Mac, give the people your piece.
Yeah, man. I know I gave Kendrick the lowest score on this project. on the panel today. But just want to say, Kendrick, man, keep your head up, keep inspiring people, man. We need that in the community. Let's get it.
That is definitely inspirational. Jewel, give the people your piece.
Um, I expected nothing less than something to talk about from this artist. He obviously has a very unique voice and perspective in the music game, and I appreciate him bringing what we don't see anymore. It's been a lot of controversy behind people who have something positive or thought provoking to say and them being silenced in the industry. And as it was stated earlier in the show, he's one of the last people that's out right now that's even still allowed to make music that has a message other than I'm gonna shoot you dead and I'm gonna take a bunch of drugs after I'm done with it. Even though he still talk about that too, but he still got something to say, and I appreciate that about him.
Yep. He didn't paint himself into the box. So
Yeah.
that's real. That's real. DJ Vala Soul. Let me get you up on the screen, brother. Go ahead.
I'm just happy that he continues to spread his wings. That he's not scared to dive into like multiple different fashions and to elevate his sound. I expect nothing less from Kendrick. I just wish that more artists would do the same. I mean, drill is cool, I guess. Trap is cool, you know what I mean? But I feel like an artist needs to be able to touch every emotion other than just anger and disparity. You know what I mean?
That is. And he definitely touched on that while he was rounding out everything on his trip around the globe on this one. Bezo, give the people your words on your final impression on the piece.
I think the album was quality. I would say that, I'm really happy to hear new work from him. He doesn't disappoint. He has, for each album, he has great cuts and different perspectives and different beliefs to think about. I just asked for him to, keep doing it and never change up, and, just continue to, take the bar higher and higher to creativity. My Instagram page is at Business, BZONESS.
There it is. Hey, real quick before you go, CC, just want to read a quick message, man. Cook had to drop off earlier, but he did drop a message in the back. He said he had to log off and thanked everybody for the invite and said he'll be back next Sunday for the next one. And his apologies for leaving early. So we want to give a shout out to the homie Cook for rocking with us. Anytime people can spend time with us, man, we appreciate it. If you can't stay the whole time or if you can't make it until late, either way, we're going to be here. So rock with us. CC, give the people some closing words on it.
I definitely want to say thanks everybody for tuning in with us today. This was different. It was really different for me because I'm not into the kind of rap music, but I am thankful for the roundtable music review and the panel for actually opening my ears to listen to something new and different. So that's what we're all about and giving our feedback. Definitely y'all check us out on Wednesday for our music trivia night, Thursday for our podcast, and next Sunday for another. Actually, we'll have an artist on next Sunday. So y'all tune in with us. Back to you, Theo.
That is. Let me go big screen and then we'll close us out. Hey guys, hold on. Once we close out, we're gonna do a little debriefing, so don't run away from me. All right. So listen, man, Kendrick Lamar is different. If you didn't know that, now you know. You see the way that he affects people in different ways. So again, even though I gave him a 6.5, he told you himself, man, keep doing you. Love yourself. Keep moving forward. Keep riding that waves, that roller coaster of life that's going to be up and down. I don't have the brothers down. I got them on the way up. Like I said, I give nothing but props, nothing but respect to Kendrick. I give him props for being brave enough to expose his soul to us and bring us into his life for real. Some of the things that he talked about go into the realms of taking care of your mental side. And I think he dove wholeheartedly into that with this project. So I hope that one message that people take from that is, again, what he said, right? You heard the words directly from the man. If you didn't, go back and rewind the tape, man. Check this on YouTube. Check us out in the Roundtable Music Facebook group. Watch it, right? He said to love yourself. He said to keep doing you regardless, right? And he is clearly doing him, and he is walking in his best life right now. So shout out to the homie Kendrick Lamar, man. Don't make us wait for another 5 years before you drop another project. Don't know what's going on with your label, your label situation, with your deal situation. But I hope that this brother just continues going up. As far as wearing the Jesus crown, man, I'm not going to tell people to go put a Jesus crown on, but I wish more of us would live like and preach the message of Jesus. With that being said, man, this is your boy Theo, our model booth. Appreciate you guys for rocking with us every Sunday at 8 p.m. We're going to come to you guys live with the music review. CC just told you, join us next Sunday where we're going to actually have an artist to sit here and chop it up with us, go over their works, get some reaction, get some feedback, figure out how they make the whole gumbo and the wet nine. Check us out on Wednesday for the the music trivia night show, where we always have a dope time, man, having fun with music. Karaoke is crazy, seeing if people gonna sing and not sing. And definitely check us on Thursday, where we're talking about these type of real world issues that Kendrick Lamar album actually inspires. So listen out for him to have a little section of conversation in that. But outside of that, man, this is your boy Theo, our model booth. Appreciate you guys for rocking with us. Be safe and love each other, man. We'll talk. Peace.